Islands have always held a special place in the human imagination. Sanctuaries of solitude, laboratories of evolution, refuges for the living, and sometimes tombs for the dead. Some islands remain off-limits for reasons more chilling than rough seas or steep cliffs. They're forbidden because history left stains on the sand, because nature turned dangerous, or because living people protect the places they love or fear. Tonight we cross the waves to 10 of the world's most intriguing islands you're not allowed to visit. Listen carefully. Some of their stories still whisper in the wind.
Number 1. North Sentinel Island, India. Nestled in the turquoise Bay of Bengal, North Sentinel Island is a dense, untouched jungle and home to the Sentinelese, one of the last uncontacted tribes on Earth. Their roots go back tens of thousands of years. The Sentinelese fiercely protect their isolation, using spears and arrows to keep outsiders away. The Indian government respects their wishes, enforcing a strict exclusion zone several miles around the island to prevent contact. This helps protect the tribe from diseases they have no immunity to, diseases that could devastate their small population. In 2006, 2 fishermen drifted too close and were killed by the tribe. Rescue teams attempting to recover their bodies were driven off by arrows. Anthropologists and human rights groups stress that the Sentinelese's isolation is crucial to their survival. North Sentinel Island remains a rare glimpse into a prehistoric world, a fragile society that must be left alone and protected. Number 2. Poveglia, Italy. Just a short boat ride from Venice lies Poveglia, a small island steeped in tragedy and dark legend. For centuries, it served as a quarantine station during bubonic plague outbreaks. Sick and dying passengers were forced to dock here, many never leaving. The island became a place of exile, a graveyard for the hopeless. The soil is said to be soaked with the ashes and remains of thousands who perished. In the 20th century, Poveglia's grim history deepened when it became a psychiatric hospital. Patients endured cruel and experimental treatments, with many suffering tragic fates. One haunting tale tells of a doctor who lost his mind and jumped from the asylum's bell tower, his anguished screams said to haunt the island at night. For decades, Poveglia was closed to the public due to crumbling buildings and respect for those who died there. Despite recent preservation efforts, it remains one of Italy's most haunted and forbidden places, where shadows of the past linger. Number 3. Hashima. Also called Gunkanjima or Battleship Island. Rising like a fortress from the sea, Hashima Island, also called Gunkanjima or Battleship Island, stands as a haunting relic of Japan's 20th century industrial boom. At its peak, over 5,000 workers lived packed into concrete apartment towers while mining coal in brutal conditions amid fierce waves and storms. During World War II, thousands of forced laborers, mostly Korean and Chinese, were brought to the island. Many suffered exhaustion, accidents, and mistreatment, leaving a dark shadow over Hashima's prosperity. When the coal mines closed in 1974, the island was abandoned suddenly. Personal belongings, toys, and everyday items were left behind, frozen in time. Nature has slowly reclaimed the crumbling concrete ruins, but the island's decaying skeleton remains a chilling reminder of industrial progress built on suffering. Today, limited guided tours provide glimpses into Hashima's haunting past, yet much of the island remains off-limits due to unstable buildings and hidden dangers. Number 4. Ilha da Queimada Grande, Snake Island, Brazil. Ilha da Queimada Grande, better known as Snake Island, is a tiny, isolated rock off Brazil's coast in the Atlantic Ocean. After the last ice age, rising seas cut it off from the mainland, creating a unique environment where evolution took a remarkable turn. The island is now the exclusive home to the golden lancehead, Botrops insularis, a venomous pit viper found nowhere else in the world. The snake's population density here is astonishing, with some estimates suggesting 1 snake per square meter in certain areas. Because of this danger, the Brazilian Navy strictly forbids public access, allowing only authorized scientists to visit for research. This restriction protects both people and the fragile ecosystem. Poaching threats and the island's delicate balance means Snake Island should remain untouched and observed only from a safe distance. It's a fascinating yet deadly example of nature's power and isolation. Number 5. Gruinard Island, Scotland. Gruinard Island's quiet granite shores hide a dark secret from World War II. During the war, British scientists used the island as a testing ground for anthrax, a deadly biological weapon. Sheep released on the island died within days, and the soil became contaminated with anthrax spores that remained highly infectious for decades. Because of this, Gruinard was quarantined and strictly off-limits for over 40 years. The British government banned all access to protect public health and prevent the spread of the deadly spores. In the late 20th century, a massive cleanup effort reduced the contamination to safe levels, but the island's grim reputation remains. Even today, most people avoid Gruinard, and authorities historically kept tight control over who could visit. Gruinard Island is a haunting reminder of how the horrors of warfare and scientific experimentation can permanently scar a landscape and its history. Number 6. Hart Island, United States, New York. Just off the Bronx shore lies Hart Island, New York City's vast potter's field, serving as the final resting place for over 1 million unclaimed souls. Since the 19th century, it has been the burial ground for the city's homeless, unidentified individuals, infants, and victims of epidemics like tuberculosis and AIDS. For many decades, Hart Island was managed by the city's Department of Correction, with prisoners tasked to dig mass graves and conduct burials, often carried out with little ceremony, in long trenches to accommodate many bodies quickly. Public access was strictly forbidden for years, keeping the island's somber purpose hidden from view. In recent times, reforms have allowed supervised visitation, but the scale of burials and the vast number of souls interred give Hart Island an austere, haunted atmosphere. Most New Yorkers regard it with quiet reverence, preferring to remember those who rest there in privacy and solemnity. Number 7. Runit Island, Cactus Dome, Marshall Islands. Runit Island is a small, unassuming island in the Marshall Islands, known primarily for the Cactus Dome, a large concrete structure that caps a crater filled with radioactive debris. During the 1940s and 1950s, the United States conducted extensive nuclear tests across the Inuiatak Atoll, generating vast amounts of contaminated soil, ash, and equipment. All this hazardous material was gathered and dumped into the crater on Runit Island, which was then sealed with a thick concrete dome to contain the radiation. However, decades later, the dome is showing signs of wear and aging, raising serious concerns about potential leakage of radioactive material into the surrounding lagoon. Due to the ongoing risk of contamination and the lasting health effects nuclear testing has had on local Marshallese communities, Runit Island remains a highly sensitive and strictly restricted site. It stands as a stark reminder of the environmental and human costs of nuclear weapons testing.
Number 8. Palmyra Atoll, United States, Pacific. Palmyra Atoll is a remote ring of coral reefs and palm trees deep in the Pacific Ocean, owned and managed by the United States as a protected nature reserve. Access is strictly controlled and allowed only by permit, preserving its fragile ecosystem. Beyond its natural beauty,
Palmyra carries a dark, modern history. In 1974, the disappearance of the sailing couple Malcolm and Eleanor Muff Graham shocked the world. The mysterious circumstances surrounding their vanishing led to investigations, trials, and ongoing speculation, inspiring books and documentaries. Those who have stayed on the atoll, including scientists and sailors, describe an eerie solitude, an oppressive stillness where help is far away and small mistakes can quickly turn dangerous. The isolation and haunting stories give Palmyra a reputation as a place of both natural wonder and unsettling mystery. Its beauty is matched by its forbidding remoteness, keeping most visitors at bay. Number 9. Clipperton Atoll, France. Clipperton Atoll is a remote ring of coral reefs encircling a lonely lagoon, far from any continental shores. This small French possession has a tragic and haunting human history. In the early 20th century, a small colony was established on the atoll, but life there quickly became a nightmare. Supply ships failed to arrive regularly, leading to shortages of food and essentials. The colony fell into starvation, social collapse, and chaos. Reports tell of brutal cruelty, infighting, and even murder among the survivors. Today, Clipperton is completely uninhabited. The only visitors are scientific research teams or occasional French patrols. The French government strictly controls access to the atoll, preserving its fragile ecosystem and remote status. The island's isolation and tragic past make it a chilling reminder of human failure and desperation in one of the world's most isolated places, an eerie monument on the edge of the vast ocean. Number 10. Niʻihau, Hawaii, the Forbidden Island. Niʻihau, located about 18 miles southwest of Kauai, is known as Hawaii's Forbidden Island. It is privately owned by the descendants of Elizabeth Sinclair, who purchased the island in 1864. For over 150 years, the Robinson family has strictly controlled access to Niʻihau to preserve its unique and traditional Hawaiian culture. The island's residents continue to live in ways that protect their language, customs, and lifestyle from outside influences. Access is limited to invited guests, government officials, and specially arranged tours. This exclusivity helps shield the community from diseases and the disruptions caused by tourism. Because of its private ownership and tight restrictions, Niʻihau remains one of the least visited places in Hawaii, shrouded in mystery and cultural preservation. Its privacy and control over who may visit make it a fascinating but off-limits treasure of the Pacific. 10 islands dispersed across the globe, some forbidden to protect fragile cultures, some cordoned off for public safety, others fenced by the long shadows of violence, disease, or human hubris. They tempt our curiosity and test our ethics. Do we press forward just because we can? Or do we step back when the water is red with history and the wind carries voices that do not want to be disturbed? The next time you stare at a blank dot on a map, remember, not every place is meant to be visited. Some islands keep their secrets for a reason, and sometimes the most respectful thing we can do is to listen from a distance.